Hey, welcome back.
How's it going?
Good,
Yeah,
good. So,
good.
do you have a daily mental exercise routine? Can you describe it?
Mental exercise routine for chess. I mean, I play there's on one of the apps. There's uh, puzzle challenge. It gives you like 3 minutes, and you have to see how many puzzles you can solve within those 3 minutes, and then it just keeps track of how many you were able to do. Shows you, how many were done that day by the best people on the app and stuff like that. So I just try to like break the top 100 every if I can every day. So I've done it. I don't know, like this last week I did it 3 times. So I felt pretty cool about that. I was like, all right. I try to do it later on in the evening, so that way many people have already done it. So it's not like
Yeah.
first thing in the morning. It's like, oh, cool. I'm number 5. I'm also the 5th person who did it today. So yeah. So that's one thing I try to do. I still do just read a lot, and even within that, I try to do like speed reading, so just to keep my brain sharp. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How much calculation do you do on a move?
Um, that is very variable. So like early on, like first 10 moves, I would say there's probably fractions of seconds. Maybe like someone does something different, I might spend a little bit longer. But in the beginning, I would say like a few seconds to move. Go into the middle game, and now there's a lot of calculation that needs to happen on every single move. So I would say if we're talking about a 90-minute game, what I normally do is I block everything in groups of 10. So like the first 10 moves, I try to spend 10 seconds on those, and then 30 seconds. And then once I get into like the 30s and 40s, then I'm spending like 3, 4, 5 minutes on each individual move, because once you get closer to the end, every single move creates so much more weight and value to the game. So at the very beginning, a small mistake, small like not good move, it's not going to make an effect on the game. At the very near closer to the end, a poor move is going to cost you a game. Okay. So yeah. But the longest I thought about a single individual move is like 45 minutes. And it's a lot of time. So it required like a lot of like we were both going to be starting to sacrifice pieces. So after I after I spent 25 minutes, I was like, well, I can't not do this move now. So I had to like fully devote all my mental energy. And then he kind of, after I did like my rook sacrifice, before he took it, he kind of just sat in the same like think tank for like another like 30 minutes, like looking like, oh crap, what's about to happen? And then the next 10, 15 moves were just blitzed out because we already like kind of thought about them pretty much. So
what about post analysis? How long have you thought of a move after a game?
I like
about moves from previous games.
I like to do post analysis after every match. I'll go through it. I'll do my own before I put it in a computer. Like, all right, like I don't know why I did this move. I rather would have played like. So I would on any tournament game that I like note card all my game or take notes on every single move. Sometimes within the match, I might say like moves that I was thinking between. So that way later on in like the day or the next day, I can review it. Be like, all right, these were my other alternates. Would these have been like valuable, like candidate moves? So then when I review them, I like to try to see like tough positions. All right, that's what I calculated. What would I calculate now? Would my candidate moves be more or less the same, or would they be different? You know what I mean? And then evaluate. All right, why did I make that move in the position? Because I know there are times when I talk myself out of the right move just because I'm playing a better person. It's like, well, I feel like that's the right move. But I feel like it's the right move if I'm on par with that person. You know what I mean? Like it's weird in chess. It's like, because certain times it's like, all right, I would like the idea of attacking his side over here, and I could get the lead in development, but he's kind of attacking me here, so maybe I shouldn't. And then going back in the computer, it's like, nope, what my original plan was is what I was supposed to do. I just got afraid to do it, ended up not doing my plan. So it's kind of weird how like mental fear can really impact like moves so quick, like so dramatically. So yeah.
What are the key bad behaviors do you think keep chess players stuck at their level?
That's a good question. That's a really good question, because it's really hard to get advanced to the next level. laziness and playing quick games. Like, though quick games are fun, it's kind of like steel bending. It's not gonna, like, it's fun. And it's really like, you're gonna just stay at whatever rating you are. If you're playing 3-minute games, they're fun to play. You can play a crap ton of games, but you're gonna just stay in your rating. You're never gonna improve because you're actually never fully thinking about what your move should be. I think that people don't do post analysis, which is something that's very helpful. A lot of people don't like to think about their losses. So it's like, I'd rather not analyze my games. You know what I mean? I'd rather just go into the next tournament. And I think it's as weird as it sounds, like, people love playing a game of chess until they lose a match. Like, you'll be seeing like people on chess online, and it's like, they'll have 2 wins, they'll have 1 loss, and all of a sudden they'll lead the tournament. It's like, you just got to be able to handle, like, losses happen. You know, like, losses, it happens. Get over it, brush it off, analyze that game, see why you lost. You know, like, not that I enjoy losing, but I don't learn anything when I win a game. I feel like I honestly don't learn anything when I win a game, because even if I go back and analyze it, it's like, all right, what am I analyzing? Because I'm gonna just favorably look at all my good moves. I'm gonna just be like, oh, that's the right move. You know, like. And then they just unfortunately made bad moves, and I just capitalized on it. It's like, all right, I got beat. Why did I get beat? And then how do I improve from that? So I don't think that people put that kind of dedication in there. I just think people think that there's a lot of, like, just natural talent, and they either have it or they don't, and they don't realize that a lot of GMs that are GMs just grinded a hell of a hard, long time to get there. It's not like LeBron, Michael, all them natural athletes, right? But they wouldn't do that if they didn't grind the hell out of their lives to get to that position. Same thing with, like, Brian Shaw or any of those power lifters. Yeah, naturally being 5'6" and being able to put on weight like crazy, or 6'6" and be able to put on weight like crazy and muscle, that helps. But being diligent every single day, putting that time in, like, you know, like, chess is very similar to working out in that if you're not doing it actively and consistently, you won't progress. And I think that's the big, like, it fluctuates for too many people because they'll put in 2 months of hard work and they won't see any progress from it. And it's like, all right, I can put in 2 months of hard work at the gym and I'm not going to see much progress. Like, I'm going to only see minimal progress from it. But after 2 years, I'm going to be like, oh, wow, I'm a totally different person. I was lifting, you know, 100, I'm lifting 100 pounds more, you know, or whatever, you know. And it's that just staying consistent.
I think that's the difference between people that have that genetics that can pack on muscle easily or whatever. The difference is between them being great or them being elite. And if, you know, Brian Shaw, who's big and built for strongman, was lazy, he would have never been a 4-time world's strongest man.
Right.
But since he did the grind every day, he became an elite athlete and was able to actually achieve that. But he never would have if he was that lazy and just like, well, I'm set up for it. I'll do it anyways.
Yeah.
I know you can't do this live, but I think you can online play. Have you ever, in a close match, analyzed your opponent's play from their perspective on your play to see if you could have beat yourself from their position?
Like during the match or post match?
Like post analysis, went back and was like, I wonder if they could have beat me.
Oh yeah,
5 holes in your armor.
That same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've done that here and there, you know, but not as much. You know what I mean? Because that's like, it's because it's so much easier to analyze the hole in my army or what I lose, right? So, I mean, but during the match, I definitely try to think of like every single way that they're going to attack me. You know what I mean? Like, so I almost think about their moves more than my own moves. Cause it's like, all right, I'm going to probably do this. So if I do this, that's easy because I'll find 3 good possibilities, but then it's all my time is, all right, what are their options for that? And then which move puts me in the best light. So.
Okay. Can you explain how you use visualization in chess?
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to think of combinations and what's going to happen within each move if you can't visualize, like, if you can't visualize the board, like with your eyes closed and just seeing, you know, like, and looking at, all right, if I go knight c3, he's going to go d4, and if he goes d4, I'm going to go f5, blah, 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 and hit out those repetitions and not being able to see things, then trying to look for variations in how you're going to win is simply not going to happen. Like if you cannot visualize the board moving and shifting, it's very hard to try to think ahead and think of what your opponents are going to do and to see how the board will look 4, 5, 10 moves in the future, you know. So
Right.
it's a tricky lesson to learn. And I mean, it in simple ways, like even just playing like once you know notification, like D4, E4, knight C3, once you understand like how all the pieces work, and you play a lot of games, no carding games, like literally playing against a person who just texts you a move, E4, and then you just say, all right, E5, you know, and just try to play as far as you can before you need to put the board, like a position on the actual board. You know what I mean? That was something that a couple of my friends, we would do to each other, just so that way we could be like, all right, how many moves in can I go and know exactly where the board is by the end of wherever we get to. And typically we could get to about 18 to 25, depending on how the position would happen. So.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
awesome.
And then I also played blindfold against my nieces and nephews to make it fair. So they actually put a blindfold on me, which is different. There's a big difference for some reason looking at an empty board. Like if I just have like my like chessboard laid out and I'm gonna do like moves with, like everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna go here. Like I can visually just be like, all right, yeah, your bishop's there, and then I'll just do my moves. But like completely blindfolded, it's like, all right, now I have to like picture a board, and now I have to picture all the pieces on the board. So it gets pretty fun. So
It's a good mental workout for sure.
it's a very stressful mental workout. Because my family's we're all trash talkers, so even if they beat me on that, they could be like, "Oh, I beat you in chess." I'm like, "Well, you kind of did."
I'm counting that as a win.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
How do you feel after a long match?
Drained, completely drained. I did the Chicago Open one time, and I mean, those are 2 5-hour games. So after 10 hours of just thinking and then knowing that you have a couple days afterwards, I mean, by the time I got home, I just fell asleep. I mean, I was just physically and mentally wiped out. Like and I was like, I don't even know, like by the time day 3 happened, I was like, how hell am I going to think about anything right now? Like it was just so worn out, like physically and mentally. Just, it's surprisingly taxing, which is why like they have, on some of the bigger, longer tournaments like those, you can actually opt out of a game and it'll count as a draw for your overall like scorecard. And some people will do that just because they just need a mental break. They're like, all right, I'm gonna just resign from this, like not resign, I'm just not gonna be in this match. And then it counts as a draw because you're not playing that round, just so that way they can have time to recuperate. So.
Do you get to choose during those matches when you want to take a break? Can you take a break at any time, or how's that work?
Not in the middle of a match. You'd have to tell like an arbiter or somebody like, or whoever is officiating the tournament beforehand, like when you would want to do it. I think it's typically an hour before the match would start.
Are you allowed to step away from the table at all?
Like, oh yeah, you can walk away from your table. You can't have cell phones within playing halls. They're probably going to be changing that to like you can't have cell phones. Like you have to leave them in your car because cheating is such a big thing nowadays. They even like try to limit like restroom visits from people and things of that nature. So yeah, which is why like a lot of people are like, all right, maybe someone was beating me, like maybe someone was using a computer and chat online versus not online, but
yeah. Is it a common practice to strategize when you guys end up taking that draw? Is that like a big thing? And
everyone's different, you know, everyone's a lot different. I took mine on like on the 4th day going in the morning, so that way I'd only had to play like the last day. I think it was only a 4-day tournament, so I only had to play the very last match just because I knew I'd be like extremely exhausted. I was playing well already, but I was like, you know what, a draw is better than a loss, so I'm just going to take a draw, go into the last match and try to get into like the top 3 or 4 position. So that's the only way I looked at it, because like I never would have thought it would be exhausting to sit for like 5 hours, but it's the most grueling thing to try to like slowly get a better position on somebody who's just as good as you are, or sometimes better. So yeah.
The only thing I can think of is that's comparable that I've done is like deep analysis and doctoral level studies trying to find, conclusions through just tons and tons of data.
Right.
Sitting there and analyzing it.
Yeah, that's all chess. It's analyzing a position on a countless times every single time, and it's so many things. I mean, I don't know if you guys play chess here and there, but it's like anyone can defend one attack. So it's like if I put all my pieces and try to attack one spot, it's easy. But it's like once you spread out the board and you're attacking in two different areas at the same time, you can actually only defend one area. Whereas it's much better to always be on the attacking side because you can only defend. It's a lot harder to defend two sides. You pretty much can't. But it's also challenging to get to a position where you can attack both sides. So it's slowly trying to always get into those positions, like not making one threat, but having your move actually creating as many threats as possible. It's like, all right, how do I maximize this one move to create as much complications onto my opponent as possible?
Right. For some reason, that just reminded me of Risk when you were talking about that and how long you could drag out a game of Risk with four guys that play so well, and it's like 16 hours later, you're still playing the same game, and it's like, shit, I've defended one continent, but I can't get out of it because I keep getting hit from both sides.
Yeah, I've had Australia here for the last 3 hours, giving me two guys every turn, So, yeah.
That's awesome.
It is.
Is there a mental recovery process you use after a long match or tournament?
No, I mean, I was just kind of like, I would just say after like a strong workout, just take like the next couple of days off. You know what I mean? Like just not play for a couple of days. Just allow yourself to just unwind from it because it is exhausting. You just have to like relax, do something completely different. You know what I mean? So.
And along with that, is there any physical recovery process that you do after a big tournament?
I mean, I would still go for like runs or something like that. You know what I mean? I would still try to just, it's like a weird exhausted feeling because you're just trying to like shake off like how just taxed your mind is. So like even just going for a run, going through a hike through the woods, stuff like that. It's just like, all right, like it's not thinking, turn this thing off for a few hours and just, just allow it to just calm down a little bit.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, even so like within my own workout routine, so on the days before and after, like I meet my trainer, like on Thursdays I do squat, bench, and then deadlift just in order to get prepared to like how matches are and stuff like that. So the day before and the day after I just rest. And it's something a little bit similar to like, just playing chess. It's like, all right, that was completely exhausting. Like I don't even want to think about a chessboard. Like I don't even want to like think about putting that energy into that right now. So.
Right. Do you pay attention to Carlsen, and has he impacted the way you play the game?
I do pay attention to all the top GM plays, and no, they're so much better than me that they're it's sadly like I might steal some of their opening ideas. Like that would be like the only thing because like there's a couple opening ideas that they've done. They're like, I know that's actually not a bad way to like get into that position. But outside of that, like their middle game, their overall understanding of the game of chess makes me feel like I don't even know how to play the game. So it's very weird because I'm not a title player, but I'm not bad. Like I'm right around 1900 level player. And like I would beat the most above average chess players out there, but then like they would make me feel like I don't know how to play the game of chess. Like it's hard to explain like how much better they are.
Right.
It's not even like he could beat me blindfold. It's that he could beat like me and then 30 people who have titled positions like IMs, GMs blindfolded at the same time and beat us all.
I almost think that if they're blindfolded, it doesn't change their game.
It doesn't.
They see it so much that it's like I don't need to even see the board to be able to play that bit. I just know.
They absolutely don't. Like it doesn't even matter to them. So when I started to actually grow in strength, I had a group of people who were all a lot better than me. One of them was an IM, then ended up being a GM while we were still friends, and then the other two were just extremely strong players. And I did beat the GM one time, so I can say I beat the GM and I beat a grandmaster once in my life. But like when he would really try, like the very next day, because like he was kind of trash talking, but it was still like an even three minute game, and I beat him. And I was like, dude, you're never going to hear the end of it now. Like, I just beat you, you know, like that never happens. And so then he's like, all right, I'm just going to move stupid pawns for the next 10 moves, and I'm going to beat you for the next 10 games in a row. He just would just do 10 random moves, and then he would beat me every single time. The next all those games, it's like, and his moves didn't even make sense. It wasn't like he was like slowly preparing. It was like, and I'm just going to like move my knight out and move it back, move this knight out, move it back, and I'm like, and I still can't beat you, and I still can't beat you. It was so annoying.
So you want to make my next 5 moves, and then I'll.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh gosh, I'm like, I can make you check. I can checkmate you if I get to pick your moves, but that's about it. Yeah. So.
Can you describe how the skills you have gained in chess have benefited your life outside of the game?
Yeah. So just overall in like life situations, not panicking. Like when, you know, hard things come, I think chess is a big proponent of that. Just getting yourself used to hard situations, hard mental situations, and being able to know that, all right, let me just think about, there is a way out of this, like whatever it might be, like at least life practically that has happened. And at least going into now fitness, knowing that, you know, it isn't just like chess was in an instant, oh, I got really good like that. You know, it's like the same thing with like lifting. It's like, all right, like, though I might not be strong, in a couple of years, I will probably be strong. It's just like knowing that just due to how chess life happened and those principles. But I think a lot of the big things, handling losses, because you get a lot of those playing chess, handling losses, and how you just take that, knowing that no matter how much you know about something, there's always so much more you can learn about anything. So like you can think you know a subject, but there's so much more about any subject that you can learn that can, and like I spent the last 15 years playing chess and I'm just an above average player. You know what I mean? And it's just so much more I can learn. That's another thing I just love about it. It's just so much more I can constantly learn. It's both the pro and the con about it. Because I put so many more years, that doesn't guarantee I'm going to get any better. You know what I mean? That's like the one difference between like working out and chess. Just because you put the time into it, unfortunately, doesn't mean you're just going to get better. Like sometimes there's like just mental blocks that are just very hard things to just, some brains just can't seem to like get past a certain level. Where working out, I mean, as long as you continue working out, you're just going to get, most of the time, you're just going to get stronger and stronger. And to pick up a heavier weight, you either gain more weight or take a supplement and then you can lift more weight. But most of the time it's just, you just gain more weight and learn a way to lift that up. And just like, that's why like there's like that top bracket and then there's like GMs who are like way below them. It's like there's this huge mental like wall that you'll finally like get yourself to. It's like no matter how much you try, you just, it's like you don't even, your brain can't comprehend how to get to that level.
Right.
So
what advice do you have for someone who wants to get into chess, and where should they start?
Start playing online games. Start playing 5, 10, or 15-minute games. Just easy thing to do. Look up like, go to any, like there's a lot of different online like sites like chessgames.com, stuff like that, and look at different openings, see what the openings look like at 10, 15 moves in, and see if that looks like something that you would want to play at that color or even play out some of those games to see just what, because you'll know what you visually like and be like, oh, you know what, I think I can play from that position. You know what I mean? Like it'll just might look natural to people. So that way you can just learn some openings really fast, because I think early on, learn openings. I know, even though I'd said don't do that, it's just like very minimal though. So it's very minimal. Always have your pieces defended. Don't just move a piece in the middle of the board undefended, because odds are the opponent has a piece aimed right in that spot, you know? Like easy rule of thumb, don't ever put a free piece anywhere on the board, because it's probably gonna be a free piece. So, I mean, that's an easy rule, and learn how to checkmate, because you're not going to win a game if you can't finish a game off. Like I was talking this to my sister the other day, and she's, after watching the Queen's Gambit, she wants to get into chess. And so I've played with her quite a few times and tried to show her how to play the game. And she's okay, but she has no idea like the concept and how to actually end a game. So I'm like, you literally have to learn how to end a game. So that's a very big thing to like for beginners, like learn how simple checkmate patterns, learn how to checkmate a king. between like using like 2 rooks, queen and a rook, a queen, just a rook and the king. So like learn how to finish a game off. So that way you'll enjoy playing because everyone wants to win. So you learn how to finish a game off, you know, it'll be better.
I've seen that in boxing a lot between some good fighters and great fighters. You see somebody hurt their opponent and they don't know what to do almost. And it's like,
yeah,
what are you doing finishing? And
yeah.
you see some of the guys that are just phenomenal at being able to finish an opponent so quick that if you get hurt, it's over.
Right.
Saw that Earl Spence would have got beat in that fight.
Yeah.
I'm sure could have.
But he didn't have an opponent that knew how to finish. But if that was Bud Crawford that hurt him,
yeah,
in trouble because Bud knows how to finish. Tell us about your interest in the grip sport.
Yeah, I mean, definitely heard about Oregon's strongest hands. Looked up even more of that stuff, like King Kong grip. Looking into getting some of those. Looking into getting some looking to see what like lists of things that like that are in the event. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy all those things so that way I can work on competing in those events. And I don't know, I just enjoy. I've always enjoyed like grip work. Like my dad had like the strongest handshake in the world that I've ever felt. Still to this day, it felt like an iron vice. And it was just like, that's just cool to me. You know what I mean? Like it might not be everyone. Like I know grip sport is a super minority within a minority thing that is like powerlifting or lifting in general. It's like one of the smallest things. And then grip work is like the smallest within that group. So yeah. So like I feel like it's a small community and like you can know the best person in the world in this grip and know like a brand new beginner. It's like, oh well, look at that. We all like
it's awesome.
Yeah. We're all doing the exact same thing. Like it's funny. It's like, all right, well, actually there isn't a lot of different technique. Like there's a lot of like small things to learn about the sport and how to grip each thing and like how to put the cantilever so that way it actually pinches both the bar weight itself and the device you're using. So that way, like there isn't as much jerk. So there's like learning all those hacks, but I don't know, I just enjoy having a very strong grip.
Yeah, I think coming from an occupational grip background, you'll find that a lot of the training that a lot of the guys that come from occupational grip backgrounds perform doesn't actually match the events that you do in grip sports. They train a whole lot of transferable skills with their hands, then they go into grip sport and actually do really well.
Right.
So that's pretty.
Because the one that I think would be hard is like the one that's like a ball grab. Like it's like a way to like it's like a half ball or whatever it is. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking to myself like trying to grab something that's round and lifting with that. That's a lot of like thumb pinch pressure and a lot of that. I was like, all right, that'd be tricky right there.
Yeah, we just made some concrete blocks to try to get a rounder shape with our pinch objects.
Also a lot
how did you guys make the round part about it though? I saw the blob, but what model or what
we use 2 PVC caps.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's actually a really good idea. Oh, nice. Then do you just fill that with sand or something?
No, see, this is, we filled, it's concrete. So we filled the PVC caps with concrete and cut a hole in it after they were put together. And then we drilled a hole through this piece of pipe and ran anchor through it and then shoved the pipe in so that we can actually load the weight and still do curls or do presses or whatever. And the weight stays up against the block.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite DIY ones.
When you look at all the events in like King Kong and Oregon's Strongest Hands, we have a ton of DIY stuff on our Instagram.
I see that. And I'm like, oh man.
Sport is extremely expensive because they make so few of them because the community is so small that we basically built everything that you need yourself for a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, there's no mass production savings in grip. You're gonna pay raw material plus labor plus everything they put into it.
Yep. It's pretty much it. Like I go to all the sites and that's why it doesn't matter like whatever one you might go to. It's relatively all like a loading pin is going to be the same price. The wrist wrench is going to be the exact same price, roughly like $5 or $10 difference. So it's like, but it's all like you're saying, man, this doesn't seem like it's worth $70. You know what I mean, or $90.
I think you're actually getting into it at a better time for saving money though, because over the past like 20 years, people have kind of figured out what's most important in grip sport. It turns out it's mostly fat bar and pinch. So you'll see tons of axle and pinch work, and those seem to transfer over into a lot of the other things as well. But I mean, 15, 20 years ago, people were wasting $1,000 buying 30 different grippers, not knowing that wasn't doing hardly anything for them.
Right. So do the grippers themselves not do a ton?
Grippers make you really good at grippers, but there's other crush exercises that you can do for really cheap, honestly, that you can just load weight and get all the variables in between of 20 different grippers. So it's necessary.
You roll up a carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that people do. Bench work. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So
Bring
yeah,
it
I think some of your guys like that. I think I emailed you like the one that's the two-handed lift. That one looked really nice. You guys made the do-it-yourself. So I know that you guys have made a lot of those and put a lot of those on there that I was like, this upcoming summer I might have to do quite a bit of those because, like I said, with my shop, I'm going to try to make the arm wrestling board. And then there's a lot of those that I was looking into. The more and more I take it seriously, the more and more it's like, all right, I don't need to spend that much money if I can just.
Yeah, I've been wanting to connect with somebody that knows welding because I mean, I'm making all this stuff without any welding experience at all. It's all out of wood and concrete.
Right.
But if I knew how to do some welding, imagine what we could come up with.
Right. So you guys probably make a lot of good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to have you over too when things calm down and we can open our gym back up and stuff. So.
Oh, absolutely.
It's around so much because we're sitting on Atlas stones.
Oh, yeah. Of course you guys are.
Most of our interviews have only lasted about 20 minutes, and now we've realized that like a 40-minute interview, an hour-long interview.
Your legs are getting a little cramped over there.
The Atlas stones get a little hard after a while.
Yeah, the Atlas stones are a little harder.
Are those some make it yourself Atlas stones, or did you guys? Really?
Absolutely. We're actually we gave one away not too long ago for when we got to 100 subscribers, and we'll be getting his Atlas stone this coming year.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
What'd you use? Like a dumpster or something to hold all the concrete?
Molds. We used a wheelbarrow, and you have the molds, and you just plop them on top of a 5-gallon bucket.
And then you just build
it around. 5-gallon bucket will support a 300-pound Atlas stone, no problem.
Wow, that's a good idea. I know I saw a lot of people making their barbell weights out of concrete. Like they at least have 25, 45, 100 pounders, and like, wow, that's actually not a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like if you have an inside gym, so.
Yep, and they have some great crack-resistant concrete that it holds up pretty well.
Right. I don't know if I would be doing it with deadlift, but at least everything else, it's like, squatting and bench pressing, no problem.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, anything else, guys?
Yeah, we were just going to ask you anything you wanted to plug or say before we end this meeting.
No, I mean, thank you for having me on. It's been great. I definitely want to do a video of my first attempt at the golden potato today. I'll probably be posting that later on. It'll be fun. I was definitely trying to learn how to all right, where do I actually wedge my hand for the best grip? I was messing around with it the other day.
That's
and
what I like about it most is it's almost like a natural rock. You have to figure it out a little bit.
Right. Each one is probably a little bit like both the ones that were in there were both a little bit different. It's like, all right, at first I was like, all right, I can wrap my hand around there and get underneath. And they're like, all right, you're not allowed to do that. I was like, oh, okay, well, dang it. All right. I can't do that part then. Cause I'm like, I can definitely lift a lot if I could get my fingertips involved, Yeah,
the deadlift, you get to put your fingertips up to the guard and lift. So.
Oh, okay.
And you would think you could lift a whole lot more weight with that one than you could not touching the bottom. Nope, you can't. It's that weird golden potato lift. Yeah, the weird one. Weird potato.
It's weird.
It's this lift here that Mike's got 200 pounds on. He was only able to do like 160, actually putting his fingers deadlifting like this.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's because you don't get much out of that fingertip. You really don't.
Wow.
It's just off, and it's brutal because to actually do it, you can't.
Right. No. You had like those. Yeah.
It'll bend wrong, so you actually have to use the tips of your fingers like you're doing.
Okay.
Some kind of a climbing type of drill, and then it becomes much harder when you're using the tips of your fingers. We actually have an evil fingerboard we use for that. Yeah,
what's the average weight for one of those bad boys?
Evil fingerboard.
Nice.
What's the average weight for what?
A golden potato? Yeah, about 2 pounds.
No. Like off the ground. Like what should I start at so that way I don't feel
on a deadlift?
No, on the pinch lift.
On the pinch lift, I'd say start with 45 pounds.
Yeah, put a 45 pound.
45 pound on there, start with that, and work up from there. Yeah,
sounds good. I gotta make sure I don't put an embarrassing number up. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I'm trying to reach Mike, but I'm about 20 pounds off of his
his
pinch
numbers are
lift.
pretty
It's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Oh, that's
Like
well, yeah.
130.
His grip strength is on a totally different level. Like I remember, like he like brought all this stuff into the job site one day, and he had like from one side of the room to the other of just different grippers, and I'm like, all right, let me try this one in the middle. He's like, all right, that's like a 3. I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening. He's like, oh, he just took it. He's like, yeah, it's not that bad. I'm like, all right, Mike, all right.
Yeah, exactly. And the crazy thing is he hasn't even been involved in grip all that long. You know, he came from a strongman and powerlifting background and only got into it just recently. And
Right.
yeah, he's monstering up the ranks.
He's definitely monitoring up the ranks. I know I'm trying to do some axle bar deadlift just to get the whole like overall hand grip strength. So yeah,
That has gorilla hands too. It's not fair.
the dude has massive hands. Yeah, it's insane. So yeah, and then other than that, not much. I mean, I just enjoy your guys' like channel a lot. Where do I find you guys on podcasts? That's one thing I was looking for.
We actually don't have anything on podcast yet. We've been doing everything on YouTube and Instagram, and just we have our website, couchpotatostrong.com, where we have our records.
Okay.
So just everything, we've been doing it like that. We may eventually move to podcasts as we start doing more of these online longer meetings.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great news, because I was like looking to see where like past videos have been, and I wasn't able to like.
Yeah, all our past interviews are up on YouTube.
Okay.
So we have a YouTube channel. It's linked if you go to couchpotatostrong.com and you click our about page. There's a link on the side to all our social media stuff. So
nice.
yeah,
all right, cool.
We'll have a bunch more YouTube videos pretty soon.
And it has all our stories about how the stones came about, how the golden potato came about. And
Okay, because I was wondering about them. Like, why is Idaho on there? So
yeah, there's a mythical story surrounding the golden potato on the website. It's pretty cool.
They actually grow in our garden.
They grow in a magical garden outside our house. You know.
nice. It's funny because I don't know what show we were watching.
Oh well, yeah, you received the story with your set of potatoes, obviously.
Yeah, but we it talked about the idea of a golden potato. It might have been Schitt's Creek. Like we were watching this, me and my wife, and they talked about like a golden potato or something. And they're like, "Oh, who the hell ever seen a golden potato?" Like the next day, like the box shows up. I open it up and I held out like a golden potato. My wife's like, "What the hell is this? How do you have one the very next day?" I'm like, "That's very good timing. That's a very good timing, you know." So
I'm gonna have to check out that episode now.
yeah, it was pretty funny. I got to see which one it was, but it was just kind of like just hilarious. Like who's ever seen one? I'm like, well. There's one right here.
We got one sent to us.
Got one sent to us in the mail.
Yeah, got one delivered in the mail the very next day. So it's pretty funny. So yeah, that's about all I got.
Awesome.
We'll have fun with that, and we look forward to seeing your golden potato list.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you guys, and then I can't wait to maybe come out there this upcoming summer or something on one of your lifts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
We're gonna be opening up.
I think one of the ones that I enjoyed seeing was your guys' version of the strongman, where you even had like the holds like that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that looks fun and brutal, all at the same.
Like the Hercules holds, where we can use all of our different no-hang implements for it. So you can hook up, you can hook up anything you want to. You can hook horns, potatoes, ball grips, whatever you want to hook up to it. Grandfather.
Did you guys make a do-it-yourself horn?
Yep.
Yes.
Sure did.
Really?
Yes.
What did you make that out of?
A cup.
A cup. It's a drinking cup.
And you just put concrete in it, huh?
Yes.
Well, we used you use a WD-40 silicone spray. So
Yeah.
which is a release, and then you just fill it with concrete and put an eye bolt in it.
And
And
slide it out.
it's a horn, and it works great.
Wow, that is a great idea.
Then
Then we got a little horn.
got a little horn here as well. This is a top of a hot sauce bottle, and the plastic is still there, so we wanted this one to be smoother.
Okay.
You can see it's kind of got
Yeah.
grooves to it and stuff. Yeah,
Right.
That's our small horn. So we got big horn and small horn. Just
Wow.
made with concrete. And we find the metallic paint. The reason we paint everything gold is because the colored paint it's kind of rubbery.
Right.
So it's weird. It doesn't feel right. The metallic paint, you keep a surface very similar to the concrete.
Okay. Which instrument do you guys think that is your best for lifting, and then which one's your worst for grip?
For grip,
Penny pinch is probably the worst thing ever.
I'm good at the penny pinch, which is kind of a pinch like this.
Yeah.
Pinch. This
I
device
don't
here.
understand. It's ridiculous.
I seem to be able to beat everybody that comes over, even like pretty decent grip guys with this weird little tiny thing.
Okay.
You just
Yeah.
grab it like this and you just pinch really hard like this and go.
Okay.
And this guy's dominating me on the fat bar. He's doing 280 pounds, and I'm only doing like 240, so he's really pretty good at that.
Wow.
And two-hand pinch, he's pretty good at. I'm good at the grippers though.
Right.
Like he can do a 120-pound gripper, and I can do almost 140.
Wow.
Grippers don't, transfer well. I'm also really good at bending. Adam can't do the yellow nail. I can cut a yellow nail in half and bend it no problem.
I also think
Right.
the hub
But that
lift
again is like kind of a trick.
in the flask,
Yeah. The flask is what I saw you guys make. I like that one a lot.
two of my favorite. I really like the hub too. I'm getting pretty good at the hub.
Nice. Cool. You guys have like all, did the, I see them in the back. Did the baseball ones and softball turn out well?
Yep.
Yes.
Did those correlate to being pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some baseball.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just it's just a washer through the bottom in one of these types of caps.
How'd you drill that through there without ripping up the baseball?
It doesn't rip up the baseball.
Wow. I would have thought it would have, I would have thought it tore it up.
Nope, you just drill it through. It's mostly like cork inside, so works
Okay.
fine. Yeah, and I mean, we've lifted probably a couple 100 pounds of this, and it hasn't messed up the ball. So
That's crazy.
yeah, hurts your hand though, but
I gotta say that one's gotta hurt like a lot.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It really hurts when you do Hercules hold with it too. Fun.
It can't be fun.
Yeah, our hub's made out of a Pringles can.
Yeah, it wasn't made out of
made out of a
a
Pringles can.
Oh, really?
the bottom of a Pringles can.
Wow. You guys can just think about using concrete. What'd you use for the rim?
That's the bottom of a stack of blank compact discs.
Okay.
The bottom thicker plastic piece.
Yeah, you guys are like
bunch of-
innovation here is like through the roof, man.
Yeah, so.
You guys are like MacGyver for grip string
That's what I'm
stuff.
saying. If I could get some welding skills, imagine what we could create. I'll probably be stuck in the lab all the time.
We'll
Right.
never be good at grip anymore. He'll have like
Just making stuff constantly.
Just making tools for people.
There you go.
Figure
Start,
it out.
start up your own business right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, perfect, guys.
yeah, we'll do a big opening thing too. That we'll do a barbecue and invite a bunch of athletes over, and that was so much fun last time we had it. And every
Okay.
record got broken. It was nuts.
It looked crazy. It looked crazy.
It was awesome.
Yeah, we usually run. We usually keep the garage open from May through May through November, and then we do November through May. Yeah, like 6 months on, 6 months off. So
Okay.
we should be opening back up in May.
All right. What does it mean by garage is open?
It means that we invite athletes to come over to work out all the time.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that would be fun.
During the other time of the year, most of our stuff is outside. It's mostly strongman stuff, but you want it to be sunny and decent out to be able to do 90% of what we do. So
Right.
We wait until that time of year.
That and we don't have a heated garage, so it's actually cold as heck out here too when we're working out. So
Okay. There you go. Makes sense. So cool. Well, thank you guys for having me on the show. Can't wait to do grip work with you guys.
it's gonna be fun.
Sounds great. All right.
That'd be great.
Take care and have a good day.
Yeah.
You too.
Have a
Yep.
good one.
Bye.